สวัสดีครับ Hi, you're watching Hello English, your English program. I'm your host, Bukrit Trairat. Now today we will be taking a look at one of my favorite Thai foods, which is called som tam or papaya salad. And this type of food can be found just about anywhere in Thailand. It's not expensive at all and it's very delicious. So why don't we go now to English Magazine and get some som tam.
เหตุผลส่วนตัวที่ชอบส้มตำนะครับออกมาจากบ้านก็เจอร้านส้มตำแล้วครับแล้วก็สามารถหาซื้อได้ง่ายกินกับเครื่องเคียงก็ได้ครับทั้งข้าวเหนียวไก่ย่างรวมถึงผักต่างๆนี่แหละครับ
ช่วงนี้นะคะเทรนด์การรักสุขภาพกำลังมาแรงนะคะแล้วก็เมนูส้มตำเนี่ยถือว่าเป็นเมนูหนึ่งนะคะสำหรับผู้ที่รักสุขภาพทั้งหลายนะคะเพราะว่าได้ทานกับผักได้หลากหลายทีเดียวค่ะ
ผมว่าส้มตำมันเป็นอาหารที่หาทานง่ายรสจัดจ้านแล้วก็อร่อยด้วยครับ
ชอบกินส้มตำปูปลาร้าค่ะเพราะว่าเป็นอาหารที่แซ่บอร่อยแล้วก็ชอบกินมะเขือเทศในส้มตำปูปลาร้าค่ะเป็นอาหารที่กินได้หลายคนค่ะ
Som tam is obviously one of the most popular dishes among Thai people. With a combination of these flavors like sour, sweet, spicy, and salty, the dish is addictively hot and yummy and even better when eating with sticky rice, grilled chicken, and other famous Isan dishes. There are now many restaurants serving som tam, and it can be found anywhere from street food carts to nice air-conditioned restaurants. คุณกรมิตร คงสุขสกุลโรจน์ or VJ Bang is one Thai who loves to eat som tam and now finally owns a shop himself.
ถ้าถามว่าทำไมถึงมาเปิดร้านส้มตำหรือว่าร้านอาหารอีสานเนี่ยก็ต้องบอกว่าเป็นความชอบครับเป็นความชอบมาเป็นอันดับที่หนึ่งเลยเพราะว่าตัวผมเองเป็นคนอีสานอยู่แล้วแล้วก็ทานอาหารอีสานมาตลอดทั้งชีวิตวันหนึ่งเราก็อยากจะทำธุรกิจอะไรที่มันมั่นคงกับเราบ้างเราก็ไม่ต้องมองไปไหนไกลเลยครับมองในสิ่งที่เราชอบที่สุดก็คืออาหารอีสานผมสามารถทานอาหารอีสานได้ทุกวันซึ่งโดยเฉพาะส้มตำทานได้หมดนะครับตำไทยตำลาวปูปลาร้าแคบหมูขนมจีนตำมั่วตำซั่วโอ้โหได้หมดทุกเมนูครับขอให้เป็นส้มตำซึ่งนอกจากที่เราจะเปิดร้านอาหารอีสานแล้วเนี่ยผมก็มองเห็นไปถึงประโยชน์ของมันด้วยนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นส่วนผสมทุกอย่างของมันเองว่าจะมะเขือเทศมะละกอพริกมะนาวหรือส่วนประกอบต่างๆมันก็จะมีประโยชน์ของมันเองที่ดีต่อร่างกายอย่างพริกเองเนี่ยเห็นมันเผ็ดแบบนี้มันก็ช่วยเผาผลาญได้เหมือนกันนะครับมะเขือเทศก็ช่วยเรื่องผิวถูกไหมครับทานมะเขือเทศก็ช่วยเรื่องผิวใครมาทานร้านลาบนัวร้านอาหารอีสานของผมเนี่ยนอกจากจะได้ความแซ่บแล้วเนี่ยก็จะได้สุขภาพที่ดีกลับบ้านไปด้วยนะครับ
Apart from the typical som tam recipe we're all familiar with, this dish is now being adapted in so many ways to better serve the customer's preference. At Lap Nua restaurant, green papaya, the most common ingredient of som tam, is replaced with many different kinds of vegetables, fruits, meats, and noodles. Moreover, besides being well known as a pleasing menu, Its main ingredients are mixed with different kinds of fresh herbs and vegetables such as green papaya, garlic, tomatoes, lime juice, bird's eye chilies, string beans, etc. All of these essential ingredients consist of vital vitamins and help benefit antioxidants, strengthen the immune system, and make skin look healthy and young. However, to enjoy eating somtam in the right way, here are a few tips that need to be considered. Looking for a clean and tidy vendor and avoiding flavors that are too intense.
Wow, it's making me so hungry. And you know, somtam goes with just about anything, whether it's sticky rice, pork grinds, grilled chicken, fried chicken, you name it. And you know, there are many different types of somtam as well. So be sure to try them all and see which one you like best. Up next, our guest is a martial arts instructor and a fight scene choreographer. So let's go to Tot now and meet Kun David in English Club.
Sawadee Krap. Hello everyone, welcome to English Club. I'm Tosatam PM Saboon. Today I'm joined by a professional martial artist and also a sword fighter as well who competes in a lot of sword cutting competition when it comes to sword fights, and it's a Japanese style sword, so we'll get to see his instrument and also his fighting technique. Please welcome today's special guest, Mr. David. Sawadee Krap.
Sawadee Krap.
Sawadee Krap. So before we talk about martial arts and also your beautiful instruments here, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay, my name is David Sudaluang. Okay, this is a Thai name. Okay, well, David is an English name, and I am a martial artist and also a businessman. Okay, normally I would work as a businessman, and I have my own company. In the same time, as leisure, also as business, I teach martial arts too, the sword and self-defense.
Right, so we'll get to know more about your swords and other things as well. But first off, why did you decide to fall in love with martial arts until it became a career?
When I was about five-ish, there was these local boys. I was living in England, all right, up in the north. So in the north, it was different from London. So there's a lot of local boys around. And they didn't like me very much.
Right.
So they came up to me, ganged up on me, and one guy came up and he said he just got his karate black belt. And he was much older than me. I was only basically 5, and he was like he's about 14-ish to 15. And so his friend held me by my arms, and he just started punching me. And he said, yes, this is my karate black belt, and I'm trying it on. Well, he called me an Asian dude, you know. So that was my first time, you know, hearing what is, you know, the karate and what is the martial arts.
So basically you learned as a form of self-defense, right?
Yes, exactly. So when I heard this person was doing karate, I seeked out, you know, trying to find something, you know, to defend myself against all these guys and this person.
What is it that made you fall in love and pursue a career when it comes to karate as well?
Well, for the Japanese arts, normally, especially, karate, jujutsu, okay, two things. They're different. We won't go to deep details about it, but karate, we consider it as being Japanese now, but in those days, about 200 years ago, it was not yet Japanese. It was of an island called the Ryukyu Islands, and that was from Okinawa. At that time, you know, it was a different country. Anyways, karate, in a way, you know, it was just like the jujutsu or the samurai way, meaning every time when you're fighting, when you see the opponent, you start off not, you know, by hating or going for a fist fight or you want to kill the person. You start off by giving honor to that person. Even though if we're going to talk about seppuku, have you ever heard of seppuku?
No.
Seppuku is the ritual when the samurai, basically suicides. Yeah, that's seppuku. The Thai would call it harakiri. So the full name for it is seppuku harakiri. So you get a short sword, basically, or a tanto, and then you kill yourself. So that is also giving honor. So it's in a way of, after a fight you lose, you want to give honor to your descendants or somehow, or to your shogun, or to your boss.
So it's basically a Japanese style of thinking.
Exactly. Everything is honor. Everything is honor.
So moving on now, okay, we know that you started karate as a form of self-defense because you were bullied by a karate person.
Exactly.
And then that influenced you to learn karate as well, a Japanese martial arts. What made you decide to become a sword fighter as well?
Well, let's just say that in the Japanese art, if we go to consider a school, it's called a ryu. Okay, for example, Shinkage Ryu. Ryu means school. Shinkage is the name of that school. Yeah, so I've been doing different types of schools. For example, another school, Tenen Rishin Ryu. So there's always a Ryu. Now, in each of these Ryus, they don't just teach sword fighting. They don't just teach self-defense. They basically teach everything. So it's kind of like an old traditional military school. So in those days, they had the knife, they had the sword, and they had spears.
So they teach you the history from the
everything,
origin, right?
Everything, exactly.
And now, these are authentic Japanese swords, right?
Yeah, so, well, let's just say it's a new blade. In Japanese, we call it shinsakuto. So it's a freshly formed blade. It has no signature on it, so it's not that expensive, but it would be expensive at the fittings, the blade, the
May
iron.
I take a look at it?
Yes, you may.
So it's really interesting how you fall in love with the Japanese tradition when it comes to fighting. Firstly, with karate, a Japanese martial arts, and now with Japanese sword fights and cutting competition.
Yes, it's called kenjutsu.
So this is a samurai sword, right?
Yes.
Take it out?
Yes, you may.
Wow, this is amazing. So with the sword, normally you would use to fight, but in modern day, what do you use it for?
Well, this one we would use it for katas and tamashigiri. Kata is basically showing your techniques by, it's kind of like a sword dance.
Wow.
And tamashigiri is like a cutting test. So you show your skills while cutting things that, tatami mats or things that they ask you to cut.
So instead of using it for war, nowadays you carry on the tradition, but rather use it as a demonstration and as a show, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So that's what made you fall in love with the Japanese culture, with all the fights and the beautiful swords and everything as well. So talking about martial arts now, what are some benefits of learning martial arts?
Well,
in your opinion?
Firstly, like I said, you would give honor to everyone, whether he is a good person, a bad person.
That's really interesting. Most people think the benefits of learning martial arts is to be able to fight another person, but it's not just about fighting. It's about giving honor and knowing the roots of martial arts as well. It's all about honor.
Exactly. It's all about honor. So even though if you're going hunting, even though it's an animal, you're giving honor to the animal, saying that, why you're hunting. It's either for sport or for food. Everything is honor in that. Well, apart from that, obviously, you get stronger. I'm basically 41, right? And yeah, it has kept me, looking young for a while. And muscles and everything, obviously you've been using it, and it's kind of like a rejuvenation. The more you use your muscles, the more rejuvenation you get.
And talking about these swords now, what are some benefits of learning the way of the samurai sword or sword fighting or sword cutting?
Also, you get patience.
Patience.
Yes. Apart from getting, physical forms, you also get things like in your mind. For example, patience, like I said, and when you do business, it helps you in business also.
It's really interesting. Most people think that if you have a sword, you get more crazier or stronger, but it's not. It's more about
No,
patience.
yes, exactly.
Wow, and it also benefits other ways of your life.
True.
And now, just very briefly, because you're a professional martial artist, you got to train Thai actors when it comes to filming as well, right?
Yes.
Can you talk a bit about that?
Likit Rak. The main actor is actually Nadet. You've heard of him, right?
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
And yeah. So I've been training this group for the Lakon, yes, and teaching them the martial arts way, you know, how to use a gun and everything. The Lakon, because everything in the Lakon has to work according to, you know, professionally. For an actor, you know, he can't just go to the range and start shooting a gun. If he's going to be a professional special forces, right, as how he's acting as,
Yes.
you got to know how the special forces is going to hold the gun, how he walks, how he thinks.
Right.
Exactly. yeah.
Okay.
Now this, for example, is called a teacup. Because you haven't been training in a gun, right? Yeah,
not
exactly.
yet.
So if you haven't been training a gun, people would normally hold it like this. This is called teacup. Not professional.
Okay.
Okay for, you know, for a normal person or someone which hasn't trained it like you.
Right.
But for special forces, they would hold it like this.
Wow. So even holding a gun, there's so many tips and techniques to it.
Exactly. Even a sword. For example, some Chinese movies, when they hold the sword, they're going to hold it like this.
Yep.
Or like this. The Japanese way is always a little bit, you won't touch your hand to the top. And 2 fingers first, here, about here. It's not going to be like this. So you won't grab, this is called the suka, or the handle. You won't grab the suka over too much. It should be like this.
Wow.
This is the exact correct way how to hold the Japanese sword.
So there's so many tips and techniques to it. And
Exactly.
now, just before we go, can you give some motivation to all the people watching this TV program to start to learn more about martial arts and why it's a good benefit for you as well? Please give them some motivation.
Okay, martial arts, apart from helping you in your physical, you know, form, physique and everything, it also helps in your mentality. Okay, like I said, you should walk on 2 paths. Apart from learning, you know, education, a normal education like in school every day, you should also do something which is physical. It doesn't have to be martial arts, okay? But if you learn martial arts, you would get self-defense, and in the same time, you get to exercise. So that's a good thing, right? Because if you go to the gym, you know, and do weights, you only get, you know, you only get physique. You only get strong. But if you do martial arts, you also do what you would do as in weight training or in the gym also. And you also learn how to defend yourself. And that, once you learn martial arts very well, your mentality changes. You get confidence. And no matter what you do, you know, your confidence will help. Whether it's business, in school, you know, university or anything, it will help you. So walking these 2 paths, it would be good for you.
So คุณ David ขอบคุณมากๆนะครับ
ครับ
Thank you very much. And it's very interesting what David said as well, apart from learning martial arts to fight, but it learns about honor, learns to be patient,
Yes.
to use your skill wisely, and how an obstacle or a tragedy can become an opportunity as well.
Yes.
Because if you didn't get beat up at the age of 5, maybe you haven't fallen in love with martial arts.
Exactly.
So it became an opportunity. And next, you're going to demonstrate how to defend yourself against me.
Okay, sure.
So we'll look forward to that. We'll see you next time. สวัสดีครับ
Wow, being bullied as a kid has given Kun David the inspiration to become a martial arts expert. And now he is quite successful. You know what? I think I should take some lessons with Kun David. What do you think? And now it's time for English Corner. Let's see what Ajahn Pui and Ajahn Kip have for us today.
สวัสดีค่ะคุณผู้ชมคะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
ขอต้อนรับคุณผู้ชมเข้าสู่ English Corner ค่ะดิฉันปุ๋ยสิตาค่ะ
กิฟจิตตสุพังค่ะพี่ปุ๋ยค่ะถ้าหากว่าเราจะพูดถึงระยะแรกๆหรือว่าแรกเริ่มเดิมทีเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเนี่ยค่ะเราใช้คำว่าอะไรคะ
มีหลายคำเลยนะคะเอาเป็นว่าเรามี3คำก่อนค่ะคำที่1นะคะ originally คำที่2ค่ะ at the beginning และคำที่3คือคำว่า at first ค่ะ
อ๋อแล้วพี่ปุ๋ยมีตัวอย่างสำหรับ3คำนี้ไหมคะ
คำแรกค่ะ originally he came from California
originally he came from California ก็คือแรกเริ่มเดิมทีเนี่ยเขามาจากรัฐแคลิฟอร์เนียใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่ค่ะ
แล้วสำหรับคำว่า at the beginning ล่ะคะ
at the beginning ล่ะคะ he will be away at the beginning of November
อ๋อ he will be away at the beginning of November ก็คือเขาจะไม่อยู่ในช่วงต้นเดือนพฤศจิกายนใช่ไหมคะแล้วคำสุดท้ายล่ะคะ
at first I thought he was joking but then I realized that he meant it
at first I thought he was joking but then I realized that he meant it ก็คือทีแรกเนี่ยฉันคิดว่าเขาล้อเล่นแต่จริงๆแล้วฉันก็มาพบว่าเขาหมายความอย่างนั้นจริง
ๆใช่ค่ะ
ครบ3คำแล้วดีจังเลยค่ะแต่ว่ากิ๊บมีข้อสงสัยอีกอย่างหนึ่งค่ะ
พี่ปุ๋ยอะไรล่ะคะ
พี่ปุ๋ยค่ะ he ในตัวอย่างเนี่ยค่ะหมายถึงใครเป็นพิเศษหรือเปล่าคะ
he ในตัวอย่างดิฉันแค่ยกตัวอย่างเฉยๆค่ะไม่ได้หมายถึงใครเป็นพิเศษเลยค่ะ
แน่ใจนะคะ
คุณผู้ชมคะน้องกิฟคงได้คลายข้อสงสัย3ข้อแล้วนะคะแต่เรื่อง he นั้นฉันขออนุญาตไม่พูดถึงค่ะวันนี้ปุ๋ยกับกิฟขอตัวลาไปก่อนกลับมาพบกับ English Corner กันใหม่ครั้งหน้าสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show, but it's time to go. If you have any comments or suggestions you would like to give us, please send it to the address on the screen. I am your host, Bukit Trairat. See you next time on Hello English. สวัสดีครับ